So we just showed up to our hotel room, and I gotta say, this is definitely one of the better places that Mariana has booked on our travels. No offense to her. I mean, it's just like the hospitality alone. Even the decor inside of the hallway was really nice looking, and I think this is one of the things that kind of just goes to show you the hospitality here so far. They gave us a bottle of wine. Some of these, what are they, peanuts? They look like peanuts. Yeah, like candied peanuts. God, it looks amazing. 2 wine glasses, and just, I mean...
It's a very cozy room. It's
very cozy. We were told by the guy who drove us here that the apartments don't have a lot of space in them. But yeah, this is the living room. This is the tiny little hallway, just to give you an idea.
The kitchen, or the 3 counters.
Yeah, right. This is the bedroom here, just to give you some idea of how big it is. It's not huge, but it's definitely going to be enough for us for tonight. Beautiful. This is kind of cool. But inside here, the shower, not very large, but it gets the job done. And we don't plan on spending a whole lot of time inside of the apartment anyway, because we really want to explore as much of Porto as we can. As we were driving here, we saw the hills were just going up, up, up everywhere. We were told by our driver that this place is just full of hills. It's a good thing for you guys. You guys don't have to actually experience any of that. We're doing all the suffering here, so hopefully you enjoy it. So if you do, definitely give us a like. That's the apartment so far.
Subscribe for the suffering. We definitely underestimated how hilly it is when you're in a car and when you're actually walking. Even though it was lunchtime, first things first, we gotta try the port wine. Which is interesting that it's called port wine because the percentage is around 20%. So it's kind of closer to like a liqueur than a wine. The strong taste definitely kind of hits you at first, but the aroma afterwards is very nice and soothing. These are our genuine reactions for the first time ever trying port wine. It ended up being so good on our trip that we actually picked up a few bottles to take home back to Italy. The French fries here were so good, Vernon was having a moment. One of the other things that's pretty popular in Porto is their sandwiches, and we had to start with the best one, which is their steak sandwiches. And I thought it was going to be chewy because the steak was medium rare, but it was some of the softest steak in a sandwich I think I've ever had. Like 11 out of 10, I would eat this every day and I would eat it again. What did you think about your first meal in Portugal?
Dude, that was so good. It was basically a steak sandwich, if you can imagine a piece of steak on a sandwich roll. And there's a bunch of different kinds. We had one traditional and one called picanha, which I think just had this kind of a green sauce on there. The steak was medium rare. The port wine, trying the port wine for the first time, that was weird.
Very strong.
It was very strong. I didn't know this. I thought it was like regular wine, like 12% or something, but no, it's like 22%. And so it's pretty strong. You can't drink too much of that stuff. But the fries were probably one of my favorite parts about it.
Yes.
I don't know what it was. These fries were just like sliced potatoes, and they basically fried them, and they're so salty, but so crispy.
The oil, it was just like some type of fat. It wasn't like regular oil.
Yeah, it also reminded me of the kind of fries that we get with Chicago-style hot dogs. So I loved it. So far, I mean, this place is a 10 out of 10, and we've only been here for less than an hour.
You know what we gotta try? We gotta try the famous pastry that I keep seeing all over Instagram, all over TikTok, and it's right behind you, with the chefs that are smoking.
All right, let's go.
When I say I kept seeing this pastry everywhere on the internet, I do mean it. Everyone kept saying that the pastel de nata is going to be so highly addictive, you will be eating it every single day. I honestly didn't believe them, but boy was I wrong.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Did that first?
Let's do 2 half.
Okay.
First Gija. Gija?
Gija?
Gija.
Hell yeah. You know what that's like? That's suplicia.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a Polish liqueur. But that was very smooth. First, I heard these are highly addictive. Very hot.
Wow, that's sweet. There's a lot of sugar in that.
Nobody on YouTube says that these are hot. I just burned the shit out of my roof. The roof of my mouth. Oh my God. Warning. Eat this with caution. After a very first delicious meal in Porto, we decided to stroll the streets, check out the architecture, and see what else this beautiful city is hiding. We made our way to what is called the most beautiful train station in the world, and honestly it really is. The tiles of the blue and white on the wall are just beautiful. It's very clean and is also very, very busy. For some reason, I thought it was going to be bigger. I don't know why everything online always seems bigger, but it's much smaller than what you would have expected. It's also extremely busy with people taking pictures and actual people trying to use the train station to get to places. That was definitely one of the cleanest and most beautiful train stations that I've seen. I thought it was going to be bigger. I don't know why. Whenever you see people...
It probably felt small because of all the people inside.
That's true.
There were hundreds of people taking pictures of the tiles and stuff like that all over the wall. It definitely looks like every little tiny tile was hand painted. So, you know, this is just something that cities should know. Just decorate your train stations, make them look beautiful if you want people to visit.
It becomes a tourist attraction in itself. Oh my God, as we're walking, we're going up a hill against the wind. Oh my God. Don't trust Google Maps in Porto because it said it was going to take us 3 minutes to walk to the train station. It took us 7.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add up all these little hills, that shit adds up. I think we're actually gonna probably lose weight here than gain weight.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that too inside the place. As soon as I took a bite of that steak sandwich, I was like, this is amazing. And I'm gonna want 100 of these. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get fat while we're on this trip. But with all of the walking and the hills that we have to do, I think we're gonna be fine.
I'm honestly surprised that I haven't seen any news about tourists, or usually tourists, getting hit by the trains, the trams that are on the bridge, because these people really want to get those pictures and they get very, very close to the trains as they're moving.
So beautiful. There's not a single street that we've been to so far that has been disappointing. Every place has either good food or a good view. And that's probably the only 2 things you care about when you travel.
You know what they should call this city? The Windy City.
Yeah, it's extremely windy. I thought it was just a couple times earlier, but
no, it's just...
maybe it's just today.
Now don't try to look cute in Porto because your hair, you're just gonna, like, good luck.
Just dress comfortable and skip the fashion show.
I mean, honestly, at this point, anywhere you go, if you travel, if you do like we do, where you do like 20K plus steps a day, just have good shoes. That's probably the best investment. I think we were talking about this before.
Yeah, don't worry about your camera. Don't worry about the best phone. Worry about the best shoes.
What do you think about the 2-tier bridge?
It was cool, I guess. I mean, you get a really good view of the city from there. And a lot of people, and you get to see how crazy people are for a photo. Because a couple of people almost got ran over by a train standing in the middle of the tracks.
Sorry, I'm trying to record you and not die walking down these stairs. I don't think anyone on YouTube has shown the reality of walking and trying to get around Portugal or Porto. Because I think we're used to a grid system, and this is like the total opposite of a grid system or a level. And what I mean by that is that not everything is leveled in the city, especially closer to the old city center. A lot of the other buildings, they are on different levels and different, you can say, even altitudes. When you're trying to get to a different market or a church, you may think, oh, I can just walk that way, but you'd be very wrong because you have to kind of walk around in order to get to that particular location. After walking around for quite a bit, we found ourselves lost quite a few times, but it's okay because we found this pretty cool restaurant and we wanted to see what they have. So we lasted about 2.5 hours without a sangria. Who needs water? So much better.
What is this? What'd you order?
So it's like their traditional sausage. Tapas style.
It does not taste like sausage.
Let me see.
It smells like sausage, but it doesn't taste like sausage.
It's very soft. I actually think we never really had proper Portuguese food before coming here to Porto. So literally everything on this trip will be our first reactions to us, first experience, because we know nothing about Portuguese food, or I mean, not even that much about this country. But so far, it has not been disappointing. It's just been... It's so soft on the inside, but the skin is nice and crispy and crunchy.
Yeah, it's almost like
herby.
It's like a sausage paste with herbs and this crispiness. Oh, it's amazing. This is what you think about when you think of tapas, though. That and the sangria.
That sangria was just the perfect thing to give us more energy to explore Porto and to endure all the steps. We were on a mission today to see as much as possible, but unfortunately things don't go as planned. What did you think about that church?
It was beautiful, honestly. Everything just being covered in gold was a little overwhelming. But yeah, it was kind of hard to show off because
vlogging and talking in Portugal is probably a no, because I almost died crossing the tram tracks over there. But for me, that was probably the top 3 most beautiful church inside. Very intricate, very small. You can't record inside, so you guys have to come here and check it out.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Everything is covered in this sort of dark wood, and it seems like it's either painted gold or it's got this gold leaf over it. There's just tons of these little statues and stuff everywhere. It was cool.
It was beautiful. It was
nice. It was beautiful.
We always have our friends ask how we plan our trips, and sometimes we actually plan stuff based on other things we've seen, but a lot of times it's kind of spontaneous, and once we get to the country, we like talk to the locals and they suggest things. So one of the things we're actually going to right now is the local, what is it called? Do you remember?
So the kind of music that they really like, one of the kinds of music that they really like here in Portugal is called Fado. It's spelled F-A-D-O, I think. It's a kind of like really sad song where somebody's missing somebody or they're nostalgic about something, so I can definitely relate. But there are these bars all over Portugal that have live music where people are singing and playing that kind of music, so that's what we want to check out right now.
And hopefully we can record there so you can kind of see and get a sense of what it feels like. This is something that's totally new to us. We didn't know about it till about 2 hours ago. Usually I recommend and I like renting a car wherever we travel places, but honestly Porto is probably one of the cities you could not pay me to drive. My point exactly. You cannot pay me to drive here. It's just the city's got like, what did I say, layers to it?
It's got layers of pain. Which explains the music they're about to go listen to. But the sidewalks and the streets, they kind of just blend into one. I don't know how to explain it, but there doesn't seem to be a real dividing line between what's a sidewalk and what's a street. Oh God,
even the birds don't know where to fly.
Let's see. I believe this one's better than the one earlier.
Not the same.
We're not going to be sober on this trip at all.
Vai pelas ruas a cantar. Seus braços são como o vento, ninguém os pode amarrar. Quando chega a minha beira, todo o meu sangue é um rio, onde o meu amor aborda. Seu coração um navio.
Wow.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest experiences I think we've had when traveling. We don't do a lot of live music, and this is something really special to Portugal. And we got to listen to some of the students from one of the universities and this lady who had a beautiful voice.
So yeah, we had like the students and then the professionals. But even though we know zero Portuguese, you feel the emotion like in the tone of her voice, and it's quite like, it's a very surreal experience. It's different, I think, on camera. I recorded a few bits so you can hear, but I think once you're there and you're sitting right next to the stage and you're feeling the guitar, and I don't know what the other guy, the instrument was. It was awesome.
It looked like they had different types of guitars. I'm not much of a musician, but the other people in the room kind of felt the same thing. If you watch the look on their face, they all had this sort of look like, oh wow, they could feel it.
It was beautiful.
Even though they didn't understand it. So
yeah, I think definitely that was something. If you ever find yourself in Porto, or I guess in Portugal, I think attending one of those little live performances was incredible.
Yeah, and it was only like, what, 12 euro?
Yeah.
And it came with a little glass of port wine, so it's an amazing way to spend an hour, especially like we said in a city that's got a lot of walking. So that was a really good way to relax for an hour.
You think you can eat some fish now?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Like always, we have to try a beer wherever we go. It's a little bit like not sour, but more acidic. Wanna try?
Yeah, let me see. Not my thing. Tastes like beer. This is just some sort of, I don't know, some kind of flower drink called like a homemade flower drink. It's pretty damn good. I don't know. I'm not gonna remember what the name of it is, but
It's refreshing.
yeah. Yeah, so we just got done sitting down and there was one table left. Normally we like to sit down outside because the weather's beautiful here. But we didn't have a choice. We had to take the one last table that they had inside, and I feel like everybody else who comes in now is gonna have to wait about 30 minutes because there's just none left.
Is it like empanadas, kind of?
But they're a lot thicker. Oh, and saltier. Oh man. Oh, these are so good. The outside is like fried. It's a little bit thicker than empanada. They're like giant dumplings almost.
I can smell it from over here. There's a lot of pork in. Oh, there's a lot of pork in there.
Oh my god.
You can see the salt actually on the top.
All right, so I didn't want to bring the microphone to my face like this because I think it's kind of corny, but in this case it's necessary because the people next to us, they drink a lot of wine and they're getting pretty loud. But I wanted to try this here. This is
potatoes.
The name was kind of silly how the menu is called like many hours cooked beef or something like that. I don't think it translated well. But these potatoes aren't even like real mashed potatoes, they're like a cream. What even is that?
Is that potato?
Yes.
Wow.
But imagine that it's like whipped into like a paste or like a cream. It's not even, there's literally no solid nature to these potatoes.
Potato soup.
And then the beef, the star of the show.
Ooh. I feel like you're gonna fall asleep after this.
It's so soft. There's literally, you don't even have to bite it. You can just, everything here, you can just swallow it all. It's amazing.
I love your food reviews. So I guess cod is like a thing here. I just got regular cod on potatoes, but the one thing I didn't know that came with this cod are these fancy bougie potatoes where they're kind of like layered and stacked. You've probably seen these online. I think they were like super popular 2 years ago, but I've always wanted to try these because it's like a huge pain in the ass to make, and I just never had the opportunity. My God.
Are they sweet? They look kind of syrupy.
They're crispy, they're soft, they're hot. These are worth the hype. I still don't think it's worth making them because it literally takes like 2 days to make them. The food in Porto so far has just been... Ooh, the cod. If you don't like seafood, you will love this seafood. Wow. Where's this cod from? It's like candy. It's actually kind of sweet. Dude, I love Porto so far. I love this city. We finished off the night exploring the pier some more, exploring the river, and just watching the beautiful sunset here. Honestly, the first day in Porto, we were blown away. We were blown away with the hospitality, with the food, with the culture, and just the beauty of the city. And honestly, we're already planning a trip to come back and visit Lisbon. The only downside that I can think about the city is honestly the walking up and down the hills, because you will start to feel it in your knees after about 15,000 steps. But overall, we love the city, and stay tuned for more because we have plenty more adventures in Porto to come. Ciao!